Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I are here with the first episode of 2026, and we have plenty of things to talk about. The internet is in an uproar over Drew McIntyre. AEW contracts have expired. Jordan Grace seemingly getting a main roster sniff. Woo, woo, woo. The ESPN year-end awards list is out. And Tommaso Ciampa. What's going to happen next? Tom and I got all this plus more. We'll catch you on the other side.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot. How was your New Year's?
Oh, it was real good, man. Real good. Just chilled, Played some Monopoly, some Phase 10. Went and had a delicious dinner with my wife and kids, and drank some adult beverages. And yeah.
Went to the Bigham Tavern, my favorite little watering hole here over one hill over.
That's such a dope little spot.
They had they had some Blantons. I got myself a little tater pour. It was delicious. It was wing night still on Wednesday, so we got some wings, but the snow was coming down pretty hard.
Nice.
Kind of hightailed it out of there, and skidded in. Well, it wasn't bad yet when we left, but got home, watched the Stranger Things finale, which weirdly enough, Raw is Stranger Things tonight, it's a little weird because it's like almost a week removed now from that finale being available, and watched the ball drop, and I think I was asleep at 12:30. I think I was solid.
I was not asleep at 12:30, but teach their own, and that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes on that. We know that I tend to not have the most healthy sleep schedule in all of America, so yeah, but it was good. It was good. Glad to hear you guys had a good time. Good New Year. All positive vibes in 26, bringing no negativity into 26.
That's all I'm going for. It's positive vibes in 26.
The wife and I agreed that we were going to bring no negative vibes into 2026, and it was all positive. I'm just going to focus on being the best version of our little family that we can be.
Well, I mean, if you're playing Phase 10, I mean, you're already on the right foot.
Yeah, nobody wants any in this house. I'm the Phase 10 genius. I would listen. We started this game after dinner, before the wife had to go and pick the girl up from her dance lessons. When she came back and everything was settled, she's like, "You want to finish?" And she was whooping my ass. And I said, "Yeah, we can finish." And needless to say, and still, it's just one of those things, man. Sometimes when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
That's one of those.
Citrans 15. Hi, hello.
What's up, homie? Yeah, that's one of those games that's it's nice because it's like you're not gonna. It's not like Monopoly where. Kudos to you guys for actually playing Monopoly on New Year's Eve and keeping.
Yeah, it's like our New Year's Eve tradition, man. And usually, like, I'm hyper aggressive, This year I just wasn't spending any money. So, but anyways, I interrupted you. Please continue.
I was gonna say Monopoly is one of those games that could go either way. Everybody could hate each other after that. And you could all gone into New Year's being mad about a game of Monopoly. So kudos to you for.
I mean, I have seen some of the best of friendships end over a game of Monopoly.
True story. True story.
Sometimes that's not the play.
Do you have a cool version of Monopoly, or is it
no? We just have the regular paper money,
I still have my 1997 Star Wars Monopoly. I busted out every week because I have like a deluxe version of Monopoly that has a huge dent in it. I got it from Walmart like 20 years ago that we like pull out every great now and then.
Stitch
Yes,
Fans
man, you're
15
the
says, I
best.
watch you guys all the time. Awesome. Appreciate
Awesome.
having you. Thank you very much.
We're here all the time. We do this because we like to hang out and talk to each other.
Yeah. We're not. Neither one of us is planning on being internet famous here. We just like talking about wrestling, and this is just the easy way to do it. And we get to include anybody that wants to come and hang out with us on Monday night.
It's beautiful. It really is.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. But anyway,
speaking of relationships ending, it seems as if AEW has let a couple contracts lapse. One of which is of a very notable variety, and that is obviously one Chris Jericho. His contract expired on December 31st, 2025. Obviously, we've been talking about the potential of a Chris Jericho WWE reunion for several weeks now, as those rumors have continued to heat up. But a couple of names here have also seen the wayside from AEW. Matt Taven, Alex Abrahantes.
See him go.
Yeah, and Mercedes Martinez, who I'm also surprised to see go. And I think one of the quotes, the replies underneath the tweet you sent me was, "It's a goddamn shame that Tony Khan had Mercedes Martinez for 3 years and didn't do a damn thing with her."
Did nothing. When she showed up at first, he threw her into Ring of Honor. And I think she was the Ring of Honor Women's Champion for like a hot minute. And Mercedes Martinez, if you remember correctly, prior to her AEW debut, she was on NXT. She got knocked out on live television by Xia Li, who spin kicked her, caught her right in the temple with the heel, knocked her. Boom,
I don't think we've seen Xia Li since then, have we?
We have not. Well, Xia Li was brought up to the main roster for a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
And then her contract expired like 6 months later, and they were done with her. So she's been. I think somebody did a Where Are They Now of her like a year later, and she's like selling real estate or something. Like she's done with wrestling. She does like real estate and like teaches jujitsu or something. Yeah, Mercedes Martinez. I was always a big fan because like in the ring, she's like an imposing force. She's a few inches taller than your average female wrestler. She always looked like real mean. And so I was always a big fan of her. Anytime they'd bring her out, she wrestled like a real aggressive style. I didn't feel like she fit so much in NXT. And then when she was in AEW, I'm like, oh, this is actually going to be a better fit for her. And then they never used her, which is a fucking shame. I don't know why. I don't know what she's like. I mean, clearly she was, a big indie name prior to being in NXT. And she was actually one of the ones that got to keep her name in NXT, which was, not unheard of at the time, because this would have been like 2019, 2020 NXT, where like that was still kind of a thing. But yeah, now that she's gone, like it's unfortunate. And I think she's like 45 years old. So it may have just been a matter of like, she couldn't stay healthy enough to stay inconsistent in feuds. And we don't know because we've not heard much from her, but it's unfortunate because like I do think she was a good talent, and I think there was a lot of room that they could have used her, especially over the last couple of years in AEW, and they just didn't. So it's a crying shame that they basically left her on the bench for 3 years and let her contract expire. But that seems to be what happened. And then who were the other names that were on there? I know I sent this, but I'm the chooch that's like, what do I forget? Alex Abrahantes. Penta says we loved Alex. He was, I don't know what they do with him after Penta and Phoenix leave, but he was great.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why. I don't think he's been doing anything since Penta's been gone, but at the same point in time, like he was great during all that.
He was super fucking over. Even Jim Cornette was over with Alex Abrahantes. Even Jim Cornette dug him. So yeah, it's unfortunate to see him. The one I'm really, really shocked about, to be honest with you, is Matt Taven. I thought for sure Matt Taven was like had AEW written all over him. That was he was that guy, right? He worked that style. He was already over for doing that kind of thing, and just didn't do shit with him. It was like they would stick him as like the fifth member of whatever rinky dink, kind of conglomerate that they'd put together. And, I think he followed, he followed Matt Hardy around for a minute. He's one that I'm really puzzled by, because he's one of those guys that really should have been kind of like, their mid card like hero. And he just was not. They barely used him, and they kept him for so long. He's been on that roster at least since Ring of Honor was acquired, but maybe even before that. So really, kind of like not mind blowing names to see leave, but like if you think about all three of those people, not Alex, maybe not so much, but the other two, like, why even sign them if you're just not going to use them? And he didn't, and there were plenty of spots for him. I mean, I guess the roster was pretty bloated, but it was bloated with a lot of people that sucked, and these people were not people that sucked. So I don't know. It's interesting, because like Matt Taven too also wasn't like a name that like wasn't like a WWE name either. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy that made his name in TNA and in Ring of Honor already, and so it's like that seemed like a guy that you'd want to build up as sort of your own, kind of star, as opposed to like just leeching off the WWE talent. So I don't know. Weird, unfortunate, because a lot of those guys have just been sitting at home for years at this point. Just more of that, like, puppy shit. Tony Khan, like, instead of calling people and firing them or whatever,
puppy shit.
Instead of calling people and firing them, just letting them ride out their contracts in their house, getting paychecks and not coming to work. So I'm sure they all wanted to go.
Saying if I could get a paycheck to just stay at home, I don't know.
I mean, same, but also like you're wasting people's like careers. Really, wrestling's got a shelf life. So I don't know that's kind of my thoughts on it. It was just a weird thing to see. Jericho doesn't surprise me that he left. He's been stale for a long time.
Well, you brought that up because the new report has emerged that Jericho is still under AEW contract. A new report has a bit of detail on the status of Chris Jericho ahead of tonight's big episode of WWE Raw. Jericho's status has been a topic of heavy speculation. We already touched on that. With the belief that his AEW contract was set to expire at the end of 25. But now that is in question. Anticipation for his return spiked when Adam Pearce referenced his theme song while previewing tonight's episode. That was yesterday. Adam Pearce does his little reel or TikTok, whatever it is, every week, where he kind of hypes the show on his own social media account. And then, according to PW Insider Elite, per No DQ, no one they've spoken to believes Jericho will be Raw live in Brooklyn. The report also notes that Jericho is still currently listed on AEW's roster page, which I did see today.
Yeah.
But it goes on to say Chris Jericho has remained quiet on his plans for his wrestling future thus far. Tonight's Raw emanates from the Barclays Center. It says no WWE contract has been filed. This could be an indication of a no-compete clause or injury time being added if AEW adds injury time. It would be quite some time for Jericho to make his return to WWE, most likely mid-summer.
I mean, my only thought is that, like, if they're going to bring Jericho out and if they're going to do it in a, like, they're going to have him fuck up the main event tonight. And they want to keep that quiet, and they want to keep things out there that are like, oh, well, maybe he's still under contract, and maybe he's this, maybe he's that. And then, have him show up and fuck up the CM Punk versus Braun Breaker match, get some heat with everybody. I don't know that I want to see CM Punk versus Chris Jericho, but I feel like we're gonna see it if Jericho comes back. So maybe get it out of the way. It's a weird like kind of thought, because I've been very critical. You and I both have been very critical of Chris Jericho for the last basically since 2021. Everything he's done has been pretty not good. The learning tree has been particularly bad, but basically everything he did after that first title run, and then certainly after Cody left, has just been mostly unwatchable, if we're being honest. And now that's not to say that I don't think Chris Jericho can come back and get some solid WWE writing behind him and have a nice little retirement run, for a year and a half or whatever. But good God, man. If the last 2-3 years are of any or any inkling as to what he would do, man, I don't even want to see that or want to think about it. So the fact that, whether he's here tonight or not, I kind of hope he's not. The more I think about it, you know what I mean? Because what's he going to do other than show up during the main event? And then he's just going to fuck up a main event match that we ought to see. And quite frankly, that, everybody already assumes is going to end in shenanigans one way or another. So I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on the whole Jared? Like, I can wait to see him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. I feel like somebody just happened to have been on the AEW roster page today and saw that, or yesterday or whatever day it was, and saw that Jericho was still listed on there. They just clearly haven't taken him off yet. And this is just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. This is somebody at WWE feeding the dirt sheets a bunch of nonsense just to kind of keep everybody off the trail of when, if, or how, or at all, if Jericho is going to show up in WWE. I'm still very much of the belief that if we see Jericho in the month of January, it will be a surprise entrant at the Royal Rumble. I don't think that he's going to make an appearance tonight on Raw and fuck up the main event, although that would make a bunch of sense because you can't have Braun Breaker beat CM Punk on CM Punk's second title defense in this new reign that we've been waiting for. And is Braun Breaker ready? Sure, absolutely. But nobody ever wins the championship on their first go around.
It would feel weird too.
I believe that as well. I did. Now I'm also not trying to shy away from the fact that there's going to have to be some kind of schmoz finish on this, some kind of gaga or horse shit to make this thing go the way that it needs to go tonight.
There's going to be a Demogorgon that's going to show up and fuck up the Demogorgon is going to eat the referee. That's what's going to happen. A Demogorgon is going to eat the referee.
I mean, sure. But something's going to have to happen, right? But
yeah, because Braun can't lose clean and CM Punk can't lose clean. It's not. I don't know.
I just don't understand how for the better part of the last 6 months, we've known that Jericho's contract was expiring at the end of the year, unless he's re-signed with AEW. We've known for the better part of the last 6 months that Jericho's contract was expiring at the end of the year. He's not been injured, I don't think, at any given time during his entire AEW run. So there's not a need to add injury time to his contract. If in fact the information, because AEW is not a publicly traded company and they can keep contract details close to the vest, maybe there's been some fluff that we didn't know about, or maybe some misinformation has come out that Jericho is still under contract. But regardless, his last 18 months in AEW, like you said, have not been good. I will say, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, maybe, that we hadn't really seen much of him except for his podcast where he's very much a talking head. But I guess a picture did hit the internet and he looks like $1 million. He looks like
Yeah.
he's in wrestling shape, and he doesn't look like Steven Tyler's
Fat uncle.
Yeah. So I mean, we can sit here and we can speculate and we can bounce around and ring around the rosy all we want until something happens. There's nothing we can do. You know what I mean?
I just hope that his if he does come back to WWE and does some wrestling, I hope it's not another like John Cena retirement tour type of deal where it's like, all right, wait, guys, we got to kind of put everything on hold because we got to give Chris Jericho his flowers for 28 dates or whatever. And because I don't want to see that anymore. If anything, if he shows up, I just want to see Gunther choke him out once, and then he and the Miz can banter in the middle of Raw or SmackDown. SmackDown is going to be 3 hours now. Maybe he could banter with somebody on SmackDown in that 9 to 10 hour randomly. Because like I don't really want to see him do anything of meaning. I just want to see him come, play some hits, and fucking retire, take his Hall of Fame spot, and then go back on tour with Fozzy. Which is another thing. He's unavailable for dates throughout all of February because Fozzy's going on tour.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing new in the realm of Chris Jericho and WWE, either. So, I mean, it's just one of those things that will have to be managed from a front office perspective. And, I don't know. Hurry up and wait. That's all that I can say. And he's either going to show up on Turner Network or he's going to show up on Netflix. We're USA. Like, he's said it himself. He's not done. So,
he'll be back. We're going to see him.
It's just a matter of time. Hurry up and wait. But I am still of the belief that if we're going to see him in the month of January, it is going to be at the Royal Rumble.
I hope so. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, and doesn't fuck up a title match on. I mean, at least that would give him unnecessary. Yeah,
100%.
And go away, which he already.
Yeah,
has.
We put him in a bad spot to start a run. And I mean, it is what it is. But we've also realized that WWE under Triple H is not scared to just roll out a debut, and we learned that on Friday when Matt Cardona killed the Zack Ryder gimmick and got to walk to the ring as always ready Matt Cardona to take on Kit Wilson. Cardona gets the W in his return to WWE. What do you think about them signing Cardona and bringing him back full time?
Honestly, I love it. I've been a big fan of Cardona basically his whole time on the Indies. I'm glad they waited this long to do it. I also find it funny that it was finally like Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes had been making, because they're Matt Cardona's friends. They were making fun of Matt Cardona and have been for like the last 2 years. Like, God, the guy can't shut up about coming back to WWE. And now he finally does. Unfortunately, KO's still out. Although we have seen his face rather recently as far as the John Cena last match was. He was out there in the crowd for that. But, I'm happy to see Cardona back. I think that him coming out as Matt Cardona. Can we talk about how good Kit Wilson's new gimmick is? Too?
I hate it. I think it's fucking so lame.
Oh, man.
I trashed it 2 weeks ago when we talked about it, bro. I'm not here for it, man. I want Pretty Deadly back.
I mean, I do like Pretty Deadly, but it seems like Elton Prince is not ready to be back. So can't just leave Kit Wilson hanging out. Just let the guy go do some shit. He's got a great Titantron. He's got great new theme music. I think he's lost twice, but we could do
twice in the 2 matches that he's had since.
I mean, how many times did Pretty Deadly lose though? They need some guys to just walk out there, be dickheads, and lose sometimes. I don't know. I get that you're not into it, but for me, I'm just happy to see him out there and be like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And hopefully, like you said, I don't think this has a whole lot of legs, so I'm hoping Pretty Deadly comes back, maybe by the summer, I don't think this has more than 5 or 6, 3, 5, 6 months of legs. But have him do something. Maybe have him beat the Miz. Everybody seems to beat the Miz. Get him over. Let him feud with the Miz.
Yeah, I mean that would make a bunch of sense.
Yeah, but no, Cardona, excited for Cardona. Ready to see it. I hope he wins a. Maybe they let him feud with Aleister Black next after Aleister Black gets out of that ambulance.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that they let Damian Priest win that. Like, what are we doing here with Aleister Black, man?
I don't know, man. Like, and I know Damian Priest is like, oh no, I feel great. I could do this a much longer time. But like, Damian Priest is like 46 plus years old right now, and Aleister Black is 37 ish. Let's maybe. I really think it's time to just kind of, hit some of these age cuts. And I know that's a hard sell coming from a guy with a big gray streak in his beard over here. But I was looking today. There still hasn't been a guy under 30 to win a world title in more than a decade. And that's becoming a problem. And, we talked about it last week where like, they're finally starting to like, okay, maybe we'll give Oba and Javon Evans and Ricky Saints and Braun Breaker and all these, young talent, maybe their turn to shine, right? It's their turn to come up. CM Punk's 48 years old.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, like, it's time, but like, they're not pulling the trigger yet because they're still having 46-year-old Damian Priest, beat a guy who's almost 10 years younger than him in a feud that already lasted kind of way too long, and just kind of making him look like a chump. And what are you going to do? What's that do for Damian Priest anyway? Like, Priest isn't going to be back. He's not going to be back in the main event scene. But Aleister Black beating a former world champion, maybe pushes him towards an Intercontinental title run. Dom's hurt. They're gonna have to put that on somebody. I don't know, man. Like, what's Aleister Black do in the back that like gets him put in the back of ambulances by guys who are approaching their geriatric age? I don't get it.
I mean, I don't understand much either. I've always been a big fan of the Dark Knight of Dumbledore. And I just don't understand. It's got to be something. There's got to be something that goes on.
He's got to rub somebody the wrong way, and like things have to be cool, and then all of a sudden, he says something like terrible to Stephanie McMahon or something, and he immediately is like, "Nope, you're getting beat by a guy we don't give a shit about." Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is Wepa time? Good Lord. Bullshit is what that is. Bullshit. And who fucking cares about Damian Priest?
Yeah, I mean, he had a good title run, but I don't know that he's ever going to be in a position to have another one. It's just,
I mean,
not
at this
one
point,
of those. I just don't know that it's on the table.
This would have been a perfect feud for Aleister Black to win, and he lost.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been perfect. It made all the sense in the world for Aleister Black to win this feud, and they just didn't pull the trigger on it for whatever reason. So, congratulations to Matt Cardona getting to come back to WWE. Looking forward to seeing where he fits. Where do you think he fits?
I mean, I think you get him, probably a U.S. title run. I can't imagine that's not in his immediate future. I don't know that you have him feud with Carmelo Hayes right now, but maybe it's SummerSlam, have him work his way up to it. Maybe get a U.S. title run and get a U.S. title win for him at SummerSlam. That's kind of where I see him having a big part in the Royal Rumble. He'll probably have a fun feud with somebody like The Miz. He'll probably have some good interactions with Cody. I'm excited to see that. Hopefully Kevin Owens is on his way back at some point. Maybe he and KO could have a little thing. that's kind of what I'm looking to see, is that like I'm hoping KO comes back, but and then has to have like sort of a feud where like it's mostly talk, not a lot of falling on his head kind of thing. I think Matt Cardona would be a good guy for that. Clearly, Matt Cardona can lose to Kevin Owens, and nobody's worse for wear. But then he and KO can have some fun banter back and forth, and that would be at least good television on Friday. Maybe have him and Cody have some interactions, and then have him get tossed out at the Royal Rumble, maybe by Kevin Owens, maybe by Cody, something like that would be fun. And then eventually have him win a U.S. title at SummerSlam. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be fun to watch it shake out. And we'll see how that all plays out. It is call-up season. We talked about Trick Williams last week. Jordynne Grace getting some FaceTime on the old SmackDown this past week. Good to see her finally up. I think that we thought that this was going to happen sooner rather than later.
I can't believe it didn't.
Yeah, me neither, man. Maybe there was some things that we were not privy to that, she wasn't picking up or whatever, going from one place to the next, and, needed to get her into a.
I just don't see how, like, on SmackDown particularly, like, you had nobody in the middle of the card. It was like everybody was all of the women were either champions or hurt or pregnant. It was the perfect time, because it was like there was a long stretch of time where Tiffany Stratton had no opponents. Like, it was like Tiffy and Nia for like a year straight. And it was like, everybody was like, okay, is this enough? Have we seen, is this enough yet? And then, cause Charlotte that whole Charlotte and Tiffy thing was terrible. And then once Alexa Bliss came back, they put her in a tag team with Charlotte, and that was all tied up. It was basically just like, okay, somebody gets to beat B-Fab every week, or somebody gets to beat Michin every week, and then Michin got hurt. So it's like, you could have used warm bodies who could wrestle to do this. I mean, fucking what's her face? Julia, her U.S. title run, she had no opponents. Like, the only other healthy woman who could have fought for the title was her manager.
Yeah.
It's like, why you couldn't just pull them up for a one night only at that point in time, have them put on a banger match, because that's what Julia was doing. That's how she gets over. But they just had her beat up Michin and B-Fab every other week, and it was like, okay, like, this is dumb. Or they'd have Kiana James get pinned by Asuka or something, because they'd have the Kabuki Warriors show up on Friday, and it was a nothing 6-minute time filler.
Yeah.
Like you, I'm glad to see her up. I've been a fan of Jordynne Grace. I mean, if you go back and listen to this podcast, like, for years, big fan. Like, when she was in TNA still, it's like, and then when she showed up in the Royal Rumble, what was it, 2 years ago? God, we lost our fucking minds. Yeah. Holy shit, there she is. We were sitting at the bar in where the fuck, with Archie's.
Yeah, Archie's.
She showed up. We flipped out. We flipped out. Practically threw our wings everywhere. So happy to see her up there. What the fuck took so long? We don't know. We'll probably never know. Hey, maybe the WWE Unreal is back. Maybe they'll tell us there.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how that all shakes out and goes. So, but yeah, kudos to Jordynne Grace. Can't wait to see what she does up there on the old main roster. So that ought to be pretty good. So last week, Tom, we did our onesies, right?
We did.
And this week, ESPN's Pro Wrestling Awards came out. We'll start at the bottom of this list here. Feud of the year, they gave Toni Storm and Mariah May.
So that happened like a lot. Most of it happened last year. So I kind of think that's a little bit of a cop-out. Kind of bullshit. Because like most of it happened in 2020. Well, it's 2 years ago now, in 2024. That started like way back in the summer of 24. So, I mean, the finale happened in like January or February. I don't know that you can call it the feud of the year. I loved it. I mean, I sang its praise. It was like the one segment I like made sure I carved out time every week to watch because it was fantastic. But it seems like a cop. That should have been that may have actually been their feud of the year for 2024. So hard to like be like just well we'll just give it to him again. It was somebody's feud of the year for 2024. Maybe it was ours. I don't remember. Maybe it was mine. But regardless, yeah, I mean it was a great feud. It's kind of a cop out. I don't think ESPN put a whole lot of thought into that. Probably because they didn't really put a whole lot of thought into this whole list. But moving on.
Hold on, I lost it. Best pay-per-view of the year went to AEW Revolution.
I think I watched it. I don't remember what the fuck happened, so I don't know why.
Match of the year: John Cena versus AJ Styles.
It was a good match. I don't know if it was match of the year. I thought John Cena's matches with Dominic were way better.
Yeah, those were my pick last week. Was Dom and Cena at Survivor Series.
Yeah, those were.
Although that John Cena and AJ Styles, the love letter to wrestling, was a phenomenal piece of business. I could see how.
I like what you did there.
Yeah, it was good. That was good. I don't necessarily know that I disagree with that.
It's on the list. It can be on the list. That's probably their best pick thus far. We'll go with that.
Best promo artist, Paul Heyman. I mean, I think that's a given.
You know what though? I thought Cena cut great promos this year. If I'm being honest, like I feel like this was a down year for Paul Heyman, but like this was a great year for Cena. Cena cut great promos all year, so I feel like just giving it to Paul is sort of again like a cop out kind of pick where it's like, oh, we'll just give it to Paul Heyman because he's good at this shit. But like Cena was out there, however many dates he was there. I think we got a couple extra. Cutting good promos, having good matches, and then cutting a promo. Hard to ignore that, especially because he was, sort of given chicken shit by The Rock, and other than one weird like I'm over my bullshit kind of promo.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically only cut like gold promos all year.
Breakthrough Wrestler of the Year, Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, I think that's Yeah.
No arguments on that.
Yeah, he took a lot of bumps that I don't think were good bumps to take. Is I'm going to say he took a lot of bumps that are going to shorten his career and have him be less a breakout star and more of a broken star. But he is the proto star.
Debut Wrestler of the Year, Stephanie Vaquer.
I mean, she debuted last in 24, but yeah, I could see that. I mean, I guess you're debuting on a main roster. That was this year. I mean, she had a killer year. I can't talk shit. She had the best year of anybody, and she's one of those people who like.
I disagree. I think Nia Jax had a better year.
I don't know that it was as complete. Nia Jax kind of was not around for a good part of 2025.
She's gotten better every time she's been in the ring.
You're right. I'm not telling you that Nia Jax had a great year.
And she's like we talked about last week when we did our onesies. She continues to just lose weight after weight after weight, and I mean she needs a beer and wings night because I'm starting to get a little sad.
She looks like a million. I love the pairing. I was at first, and I'm still a little. Her tan is a little extreme. Her fake tan is a little extreme. But I'm loving the pairing of her and Lash Legend, and I am loving what Lash Legend is doing. That Lash Legend hits that big boot as well as the Usos hit their kicks in stereo, and it looks so good every time, and people sell the shit out of that, and it pops me every time it happens. But yeah, I'm loving what Nia's doing also. But yeah, I mean, I think that
I've had this shirt on inside out all day long.
And nobody said anything to you.
That's crazy. Huh.
Nobody said anything to you. They let you walk around like that all day.
Well, I mean, It's whatever. It's a short sleeve hoodie. So you couldn't tell that it was inside out. I was just looking for the hoodie pocket and couldn't find it. And then I realized it's on the inside.
That's how you stay warm on the inside.
What
It's like
a
a
dummy.
kangaroo. It's like a kangaroo shirt.
What a dummy. Female wrestler of the year, Stephanie Vicaire.
Oh no, we missed one. Tag team.
Oh, yeah. Tag team of the year, FTR.
The fuck?
I disagree.
Yeah. I mean, they barely wrestled this year. Sure, they're the champs now, but it was like, who's the AEW champ? All right, we'll go with FTR. Bullshit. Charlotte and Alexa somehow managed to get Charlotte over as a babyface. Motor City Machine Guns coming out earlier this year was they had a brilliant beginning of the year, although we haven't seen them in 3 months. But to that point, we didn't see FTR for a few months in the middle of the year, so who fucking knows. Yeah, it just seems like who's the AEW champions? Let's go with FTR. They had the best year. It seems like that's a throwaway.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's just a token AEW pick right there. Women's Wrestler of the Year, Stephanie Vicaire. Obviously, we already talked about she had a really solid year. I mean, her meteoric rise to the championship is unlike anything we've ever seen in either men's or women's division. And they continue to give her mic time. Her English continues to get better. So hopefully 26 is a strong year for her, but I'm about over her title reign.
Yeah, I'm hoping she drops it here pretty soon.
I do enjoy watching her, and I think that she's very solid and smooth in that ring. But
it's hard to have a long reign as a babyface. I feel like you need to have a lot of good heels nipping at your buds there, and there just aren't. I'd like to see her drop it to Liv sooner rather than later. I think that's really what's going to happen. But we'll see. I mean, she did have a great year. I'm just hoping that she doesn't have the same year in 26 as she did in 25 because it's going to feel real stale.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same point in time, who do you drop it to?
Liv Morgan.
That's fair.
Yeah, Liv, easy. That's easy. Like you put it on. Had Liv not been hurt for 3-4 months, however long it was, she just got back. She's having her debut match back tonight, and she's been hurt since at least September, probably even August. But I think had Liv been healthy all year, she was having the most incredible matches week in and week out up until the moment she got hurt, and it wasn't close. Every match she would have was like, holy shit, is she good? And it was every match was like, holy shit, are you kidding me? And then she got hurt, and she missed almost half the year. So I think that's really sort of where that goes. Had Liv been healthy, I think you have to say that Liv was the women's wrestler of the year, because as of June or July, she absolutely was.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, but unfortunately, she wasn't healthy, so This is where we're at. And then male performer of the year. No arguments from either gentleman sitting in either chair on either side of the screen. Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. Dom had as good of a year as any male wrestlers had in a long time.
I mean, I had Braun Breaker in the onesies. Oh, excuse me. I had Braun Breaker. But I mean, Dominic. I'm looking at my list from last week, and Dominic's in three things here: scratched out in a couple of places, moved around in a couple of places. Dominic Mysterio was the bee's knees this past year.
I said Cena, but I also have Dominic scribbled out, so it's. He was a hard guy to deny.
Yeah,
he really was
for sure.
His WrestleMania his win, where he got a pop despite being dastardly, and then he continued to be dastardly for the rest of the year. in like such creative fashion, and he pulled it off. Dominic Mysterio had the most difficult job all year, and all year he made it look easy.
Yeah,
and I think that's really the testament to him, is that like everything he had to pull off, there was timing, there was selling, there was acting, there was all of it. He had to pull it all off, and he made it look easy. He made it look seamless and smooth, and 99.99999% of athletes, people in the world couldn't do it with a fraction of the skill and just pizzazz that Dom did. It was he had a fantastic year, and no arguments for me.
Yeah. So overall, what do you think about the integrity of ESPN's list?
It feels like they don't watch wrestling. It feels like they read about wrestling.
They have a major TV streaming deal with the number one company in the world
now, as of like November. But like, it feels like they didn't watch a whole lot of wrestling prior to like when that deal started being negotiated. And I know they do this list every year, but a lot of these feel like cop-outs, and a lot of them feel like sort of token AEW picks, or just token picks in general, where it's like, oh, Stephanie Vaquera had a good year. We're just going to have Stephanie Vaquera as we're going to give her multiple spots on this. She was great. The breakout, you want to give her the debut wrestler of the year, especially debut female of the year. Great. Give her that. Women's wrestler of the year, sure, but like on a technicality, really, because Liv got hurt. Tag team of the year is atrocious. I don't know how you pick FTR. It's like saying, oh, Kyle McCormick is my favorite South Park character. Like, okay, all right. Best promo artist of the year, Paul Heyman. Come on.
Yeah, I mean I feel like there's, obviously, like you said, you picked John Cena, but like, I feel like there's better choices. I don't know, man. It does. It feels really like just copped out.
And to put feud of the year, Toni Storm versus Mariah May, like I pointed out, most of that feud happened in 24. Like, I think it was over in like early February. AEW Revolution may have been when it ended, and I think that's a February pay-per-view. So like their feud of the year happened for 8 months in 2024, and then a month and a half in 2025, and that's the feud of the year. Guys are grasping at straws for some of these, and it feels like you don't watch wrestling. It's just my opinion. Watch.
This says Mariah May left late May.
Yeah. So she wasn't even in fucking AEW for most of 25.
No, she was there for the first half of the year.
Okay.
With your favorite human.
I'm
fairly certain that title match that she lost and went on her way was your match of the week that week.
It was. I was thinking you were going to say the one where she lost the title to Thea Hale a couple weeks ago, which I fucking loved. Accidentally, because she had the wind knocked out of her, got pinned, counted. Loved it. I still love it. Thea Hale's still the champ. I still love it.
Well, they got to pivot now because there ain't no fucking, look at this shit. Pockets. Crazy. So how do you feel about Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes in the 3 stages of hell?
I mean, Drew's gonna win this. Like, he has to, right? Like,
I mean, if he doesn't, the IWC is gonna they're gonna revolt.
I mean,
the amount of shit that I have read in the past 2 weeks about, if WWE doesn't let Drew McIntyre beat Cody Rhodes, all of this is for nothing. Drew McIntyre's on the run of his career right now, and just continuing to fucking trot him out there to lose to Cody is just burying him. If I was him, I'd go somewhere else. Drew McIntyre deserves so much more respect. He should have already beaten Cody Rhodes to be the WWE champion. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I don't agree with any of that. But I do think, and I called this a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago. It was like, look, Cody and Drew, this is the feud, because the problem is nobody gives a shit about SmackDown, and that this is the honest to God truth, and this is like sort of the like, wrestling is, there's kayfabe, and then there's like what makes sense on paper, and what they're doing is that nobody gives a shit about SmackDown right now, right? It's on the USA Network, which you can only get if you pay $100 a month for cable. It's on, there's no good way to stream SmackDown, even whether during or after the fact. The USA app is terrible. And if you don't have USA, like if you don't have USA through a cable provider, you're just not watching it anyway. It's not like you can just pick up Hulu or pick up Netflix.
Hulu with Live, bro. That's what I have.
Sure, Hulu with Live, but Hulu with Live is still basically like paying for cable. You're just paying Hulu with Live. And yeah, that works, and that's great. But at the same time, like, it's not like Raw, where it's just like, oh, I pay whatever, $15 a month for Netflix, and I play it live, right? Or like with Peacock, it was like, oh yeah, I pay whatever, $8.99, whatever Peacock is now, $9.99. Is that what Peacock costs now? I get it.
Oh, that's another thing we need to touch on is the Peacock debacle. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Or like with Peacock, like, which is wild because like NBC owns fucking USA. Like, it could very easily be streamed on Peacock same day or next day or whatever. Like Saturday morning, it could be on Peacock. Unless there's some bullshit deal still in there back from the Hulu days or whatever. But like, SmackDown has a bum deal right now. And it's basically only on cable, or if you pay extra, like we're talking like you have to pay upwards of $60 to $100 a month to be able to just watch Friday Night SmackDown. And I'll be the first person to say that Friday Night SmackDown is probably the worst wrestling show. Collision. But it's at least the second worst wrestling show week in and week out. Likely due to the fact that it's just not in as many homes because it doesn't have a streaming deal right now. So, I thought that they were going to drag out this Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre feud through the end of the year, because also it makes sense. Cody's the champ, but also Cody just had a second baby. Cody doesn't want to work every single night. He doesn't want to work every Friday. He'll maybe work every other Friday, and that's good. Great for Cody. Be home with your family, but also drop the fucking title. Now, I understand in WWE terms, Cody beat John Cena for that title. The unseen 17 GOAT. So you can't just have Cody have a 2 or 3 month reign with this title. He needs to go and have a long, drawn out blood feud where they blow this off in some kind of 3 circles of hell, stages of death, just fucking everybody dies kind of match, right? And that's what we're going to get. But at the same time, getting to this point was going to be excruciating for the internet wrestling community. And it has been excruciating for them. I thought it's been very good. It's been exactly what I thought it was going to be. That being said, we are now at the blow-off. And Drew needs to fucking win this thing.
I agree.
And the internet's not wrong in understanding that Drew needs to fucking win this thing, because that's the long and short of it. Cody needs to take a break. He's got a brand new baby at home. He can lose and fuck off, until WrestleMania, right? But he can fuck off for a month or two, right? When's this match happen? Does it happen at the Rumble? Happens at the Rumble, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So he can lose at the Royal Rumble, and then Cody can fuck off until late March. And maybe he comes back. And that'll be great. And maybe we see Cody versus Roman 3 or something. And maybe it's not for a title, because maybe it doesn't need to be for a title. Or maybe Roman takes it off of Drew at some point, and maybe it's Cody versus Roman, and Roman's the champ. Whatever. But I think Cody needs to go away for a little bit. I think SmackDown needs a better streaming deal, and they need to figure that out. And Drew needs to win the title, because if Drew doesn't win the title, does Drew leave? Is that it? Does the loser leave town? Because if the loser's not leaving town, Drew needs to win the title.
I agree. I mean, I think Drew needs to win the title regardless. I do agree with some of the sentiment of the IWC and the standpoint of, like, you know, this has been a very strong, a very strong feud between Cody and Drew, and that this blow off absolutely needs to favor Drew McIntyre. I think that Drew McIntyre has continued to show up. Drew McIntyre has continued to prove his worth. Drew McIntyre has continued to be a fucking top guy in WWE since he won the title in 2020. He led us through the Thunderdome era, which was, you know, by far probably the most challenging thing that he could have done for his first championship run. You know, he had the stellar feud with CM Punk that carried us through a couple of years. This whole deal with Cody has been phenomenal. You know, Drew deserves his flowers. He deserves his opportunity to raise a title again. He deserves his opportunity to put the company on his back and go, even from the heel standpoint. You know, I think that WWE is a far healthier place when there is a heel champion and you have a top babyface chasing. The promo work that Drew has done, you know, especially now with the stipulation that, you know, once the fine is paid and the public apology has been issued, you can't lay a hand on Drew McIntyre. You know, and once that happened, he immediately started picking at Cody. You know, and so much that he burned a photo of Cody and Dusty in the ring the other day. I mean, he's operating on another level right now, and this is like peak heel shit. And to not reward his efforts at this point in time, I feel is extremely detrimental to what they're trying to accomplish with Drew McIntyre.
And the problem too is that, like, you're going to bury Cody in the process, and they don't want to do that because Cody sells T-shirts, Cody shakes hands with the fans, Cody kisses the babies. Cody is the guy who you want out there as your white meat baby face to do that white meat baby face shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like if you're concerned about those things, you trot Drew McIntyre out there 3 stages of hell, and you just have him beat the ever-loving dog shit out of Cody Rhodes for 27 minutes.
You beat him bloody.
You know, let Cody get a quick win in the first stage, and then Drew just takes his time and just fucking massacres Cody Rhodes for stage 2 and 3. You know, and then just beats the fucking dog shit out of him. Just pillar to post, drag him around, bloody him up, fucking ruin his day. You know, and then Cody comes back a bigger, more sympathetic baby face. Yeah. After Brandy and his kids are squared away, and he can go about getting back to a normal schedule.
Let him go home and lick his wounds for a month or 2, and then bring him back in time for Mania. Like, and have him build up to do whatever he's going to do, whether there's a title in the picture or not. Build him up in March for April.
I think that we're at a point in time, if I'm being honest with you, where I feel like the absence will make the heart grow fonder when it comes to Cody Rhodes. Absolutely. I think while there's still a large sector of fans that love the fact that Cody's the undisputed champion, and that Cody's out there signing babies and kissing hands, you know, like, he's got to go away for a little while so that everybody remembers, man, that's our guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't want all of this to have the opposite effect, like when Vince McMahon used to run Roman Reigns down our fucking throat each and every week, every
John
single
Cena before
pay-per-view,
that.
every single what's that?
Or John Cena before that.
Or John Cena before that, and make the fans resent him. Clearly, we see that Cody is still teasing this heel turn, and maybe this is what he needs. Maybe he needs to get the dog shit kicked out of him. Maybe he needs to get fucking drug pillar to post and just left for fucking dead in 3 stages of hell and go away for a couple months
Maybe
to come back with a new edge and a new purpose, and have to start from the bottom and work his way back up. Get in there and have a couple of matches with an Aleister Black. Get in there and have a couple matches with, a Matt Cardona or a fucking Sami Zayn or whatever it is, to get some momentum going, to get you back into the title picture and earn your way back. Not just be there because you're the former champion. Not just be there because you're Cody fucking Rhodes. Be there because you deserve to be there, because you show up every week. You beat the fuck out of some guys. You staked your claim. You got into some stellar feuds. That's what I want to see out of somebody that carries a championship. I want to see somebody that can go in there and can carry a feud, can have a stellar feud with somebody that isn't in a position to have a stellar feud. Somebody like an Aleister Black, who this feud with Priest has been pretty good, but for whatever reason, they gave Priest the upper hand. It makes no sense. It is what it is. We don't have to agree with everything that they do. But if you bring Cody in and give him a feud with Aleister Black, and you prop Aleister Black up in that situation, bring him back, have a feud with fucking El Grande Americano. Prop El Grande Americano up. Give him a feud with Finn Balor. Prop Finn Balor up, even though Finn's seemingly getting a push. But make me believe that you're the world champion. Don't make me just feel like it's just Cody Rhodes. Of course, he's just always going to be in the main event picture. Yeah, of course he is. But make us as the fans at home suspend our disbelief and believe that he's earned his way into that opportunity. Isn't that what this storytelling gimmick is supposed to be in the first place?
You can't just continue to have him roll in like, having lost the title or whatever. You can't just have him roll in as like entrant number 30 in the Royal Rumble every year. It's like, okay, all right, okay, we're gonna give him number 30 spot. These 3 guys are bleeding, but he's number 30. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and that was easy. Fuck you.
Could you imagine CM Punk or let's say Braun Breaker wins tonight? Okay. And like Braun Breaker blows through a couple of guys, and then he comes back out. He comes out in a few months and he's like, blew through everybody. Nobody's left. And then wrestling has more than one royal family. It's like, this is bullshit. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah.
Moving the goalpost, man.
At that point, I feel like you have Braun Breaker just dismantle Cody Rhodes. Like, just tear him apart. Like fucking throw his corpse into the stands, like chunk by chunk. Like, here's an arm over here. Here's a leg into section B. Here's a fucking arm into section C. Fuck you, Cody Rhodes.
All I'm saying is, like, I believe that Drew McIntyre has earned the right to win this match, this 3 stages of hell. I believe that Cody Rhodes needs to be beaten within an inch of his fucking life. And he needs to go home to his wife and his kids, spend some time, lick his wounds, like you said, and come back with a new purpose. Come back and give us the impassioned promo. Hey, I got the fucking dog shit kicked out of me, and I don't deserve to be within an arm's length of the world championship right now, but I'm going to earn my way back. And he just beats the fuck out of people, continues to show that edge, and that's going to get him over even harder on a comeback. This lingering of the same folks in the main event picture. And that's what I think I like most about the fact that Roman Reigns has kind of taken a little bit of a back seat on some of these things, is that it doesn't feel that way with Roman anymore, that it's just, he's Roman Reigns. He's just going to be at the top of the card. He's going to be in every championship match. You could still plug him in and it would absolutely still make sense. But I like that he's doing other things. I like that portion, that segment of the card is opened up a little bit for guys like a Braun Breaker to step in, somebody like a Finn Balor to step up. we're doing it with Gunther right now, building Gunther back up. Why can't we do it with Cody Rhodes? Why does Cody Rhodes just automatically get the free pass and gets to step back into the title picture? I just Drew McIntyre needs to win this, and he needs to win it convincingly, because if he wins it convincingly, he can bully a bunch of people for the next couple of months, look like a real badass doing it, until somebody comes along that's going to whoop his ass at WrestleMania, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know what any of that stuff looks like, but what I do know is he needs to win, and Cody needs to go away for a little while, because if not, the fans are going to become resentful.
We saw it happen in AEW.
And I think the uproar on the internet around Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes is a signal that the fans are going to start to resent Cody Rhodes if he beats Drew McIntyre.
I had a thought while you were saying that. What if the reason that Drew McIntyre, or that Damian Priest won his feud with Aleister Black was so he could be the first feud with a champion Drew McIntyre? If you remember, Damian Priest did take that title by cashing in on Drew McIntyre. What if Drew gets his redemption by beating the shits out of Damian Priest in his first title defense feud?
I mean, that makes logical sense. But that would also go against everything that we just said, that, Damian Priest is never going to be back in the main event picture again.
But what if he's there to lose? And it's not. And I think that's what you're going to need for somebody like Drew, is somebody like Priest to show up and be like, we have history. I've beat you before. I'll beat you again. And Drew to be like, fuck you. I'll see you at what's after fucking Rumble. I don't know. In your house. I'll see you at In Your House. See you at Over the Edge. Kick your fucking dick in. And then he does. Kicks his face in. They have some promos. They hit each other with some finishers. And Drew, boom, beats the shit out of him.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Wait, it is the Chamber. Yeah, he could beat him at Elimination Chamber. He's not going to be in the Chamber. He's the champion. That'd be amazing. Good shit. Let's go with that.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, all signs point to Drew McIntyre raising hand. Actually, I think this match happens on Friday on SmackDown when they move to 3 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no. There's going to be shenanigans if it's on Friday. Oh, no. Actually, you know what? Sometimes titles change hands, and it's a big SmackDown, and they need to make SmackDown important enough to get people to pay $60 to $100 a month to have the USA fucking network.
Yeah, January 9th episode of SmackDown.
Oh, God. Oh, no. That made this all so much worse.
It just dawned on me that, because I was like, man, I feel like it's not the Rumble.
This is going to be so much worse.
Oh, I don't know. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens, but I do feel like they're missing an opportunity if they're fumbling a massive. They're fumbling Cody Rhodes if they don't just beat the ever-loving dog shit out of him.
I mean, he's not going to bleed. They're not going to beat him that bad. Oh, so, USA. What is it, 1999? That's not going to happen.
Well, Tom, we're rounding third base here. I've got one more pressing topic that I'd like to discuss, and then obviously we'll be off and running into our match of the week. If you're still hanging out with us here, man, we appreciate you. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. Maybe even consider subscribing. We are generally live on YouTube every single Monday at 9 p.m. I know that it's right in the middle of Raw, but it's a perfect time for us. And it used to be a perfect time for everybody, because when we started this show, Raw was just unfucking watchable. So, but if you're here and you're hanging out, man, we appreciate it. But with that being said, the main event is about a gentleman that is very near and dear to our hearts. As a matter of fact, I gave him a onesie last week as one half of the best tag team in WWE, and that is one Tommaso Ciampa. WWE sources tell that his contract is ending soon, and he plans on finishing his time up with the company without a renewal. It's unclear if Ciampa chose not to sign a new deal and is planning on going elsewhere, or if he's just wanting to take time off without a deal. And that is per Body Slam Net. And it has since come out. Fightful has reported on it. And a couple of other outlets have also picked it up and reported it. Generally, I wait until SRS breaks news before I try to talk about it. But it has been, a couple of outlets have picked it up. It has been making the circles on the internet this week. Thoughts on Tommaso Ciampa not renewing a deal?
The BTTOAT, best tag team of all time. Him and Gargano. I love Tommaso Ciampa. I am a massive Ciampa fan. He is probably, good God, that black and gold NXT era, especially while he was the champ with Goldie. And when he would come out to no music and just get fucking booed out of that building.
Fuck you, Ciampa.
Oh my God, you're the devil, Ciampa. I don't know that anybody has ever been so viscerally hateable, but God, I loved it. I loved it so much. He was so evil. He was so brutal. He was so terrible to everybody. And God, the promos he cut were amazing. Like, just thinking about it gives me chills. He was so good. He is so good. He's to this day so good. I mean, main roster, he was never going to be like that on the main roster. It's just not the same delivery. I mean, NXT is not the same as it used to be. So it's bittersweet for me. I feel like if he leaves and if he's given the opportunity in AEW to kind of because AEW at the moment, I'm not saying they're as good as or they are black and gold NXT or anything like that, but the vibe for that is certainly more towards the black and gold NXT right now in AEW than it is on the WWE main roster. And I think that that's by design, particularly for AEW. I would love to see, although I'd be skeptical of, a Tommaso Ciampa AEW run. I mean, he's our age. He might be a year younger. So he's probably 40 right now. And, I would love to see if he could have, a 3-year run as the Blackheart Tommaso Ciampa in AEW. I think there's a lot of room for that there. I don't know that Tony would handle it well. I don't know that that's even what he wants to do. I mean, he's got a young kid. He's been away for a long time. They had a daughter. I want to say she was 2 when he was called to the main roster, and he spent a lot of time week in, week out on TV. The last 3-4 years. So maybe now that his daughter's about ready to go or is in grade school, he just wants to be there. He wants to be the dad that drops her off and picks her up off the school bus. He's made enough money. The house is paid for. And, he just wants to be at home for a year, 2 years, whatever it ends up being. Maybe he does, he's done bodybuilding before. Maybe he wants to do another bodybuilding competition. Maybe he just wants to let his bones heal a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Gargano did it whenever, Candice was pregnant with Quinn.
Yeah.
Or Quill, sorry.
Quill, yeah.
And, left without a deal and came back in 8 months, 6 to 8 months. Maybe that's just one of those things. Maybe, again, we've touched on this several times throughout this episode. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Maybe he just wants to go and just be at home and be a dad and be a husband and just not be on the road all the time and just, he is older and just get right and then come back and have a solid run.
It's important to note too that he's a Triple H guy. So it's very much, he could very much be like, hey, Hunter, this is what I want to do. Let me go home for a year. You don't need to sign me to a deal or anything. I'm just going to go home. I'm going to hang out with my kids. You've paid me enough money. My house is paid off. I'm going to hang out with my kid. I'm going to pick him up at school. I'm going to drop him off. I'm going to pick him up off the bus. That's what I want to do for a year. Everything hurts. My knees are, I don't want to blow these out. You guys have paid to fix them twice. Let's just let me heal. I want to do another bodybuilding competition. Maybe that's in the cards too. Give him a year. Let's see what happens. I think that he's earned that. And I think that, in being a Triple H guy that he has been, he clearly is. I'm sure he could come right back and be reinserted in the same spot. And like you said, absence makes the heart grow fonder. He comes right back, gets a massive pop from the crowd because we all love the man. And, is that, or, maybe he does a little AEW run and then comes back and is a producer somewhere or something. Cause the guy's clearly got a mind for the business. And maybe that's what he does next. Cause a lot of guys who sort of, Bobby Roode as a great example, just sort of end up going, my body's just not what it used to be. I can't fall as hard as I used to be able to fall. I can't do the things that I like to do. So I'm going to tell other people how to do it. And maybe he goes home, maybe he ends up working at NXT again. Either, as on-screen talent doing some kind of commissioner work or something like that, or just as a coach. I mean, it's what happened with Shayna Baszler. I'm sure I'm certain he lives in Florida, actually, because that's where he lived the whole time he was in NXT Black and Gold. And he was like, I don't really want to leave because I live here. This is fantastic. Like, this is the best job I've ever had. So maybe he just wants to go back to that. And maybe that's where he'll end up in a few months. And he'll just, that'll be his thing. He'll be either an on-screen talent or he'll be a backstage coach showing the next generation how to be fucking amazing at being heels and baby faces and, doing cool ass moves and shit. So
yeah. All of that makes logical sense. I don't think that he's going to wind up in AEW. I really don't. I think that you made a brilliant point there that he is a Triple H guy, always has been, always will be. And I don't think that he'll go to AEW. And if he does, I fear that he will fall victim to shiny toy syndrome. And then he'll be stuck in a contract that he's not happy with. Or he falls victim to shiny toy syndrome and he gets to sit at home and gets paid to sit at home and gets to do both of the things that he wants to do, be a dad and still be a pro wrestler. I don't.
Or worst case scenario, shiny toy syndrome, goes to AEW, gets hurt because everybody sucks. Like, not everybody, but gets put in a situation with people who don't work as safely as they ought to. Hurt a guy who's already been hurt a lot of times and put back together with screws and pins and what have you. Then Tony, lets him run his contract out at home for what amounts to be the remainder of his career. So, I agree. I think I talked myself out of of the AEW run. But it's one of those sad to see him go, but what else is he going to do now? Right. I think he's done all of his things now. I think after some absence, he could maybe have another little run. But if he doesn't, I think there's a lot to hang your hat on if you're Tommaso Ciampa, especially with all the sort of backstage or NXT coaching type opportunities that would exist for a guy like him at this stage of the game. So I'm sad to see him go. It's like an end of an era kind of thing because he's a guy that I've been a big fan of basically since his introduction into NXT with being part of DIY, and seeing that come full circle was really good, especially the beginning of 2025 when the tag team division on SmackDown was hot as hell, especially that TLC match that they all had together. That was just
I think
But
it's
it might
wild, bro.
might just be, that might have just been the icing on the cake, and we might look back at this like, oh man, remember that? Remember how good of a run Tommaso Ciampa had for being just a little guy?
Yeah.
I mean, he was the fucking Undertaker's attorney back in like 2001 or 2002 or something like that when he still had hair. So it's a big long career for a guy who looks like $1 million and gave us a lot of entertainment over the years. So I hope to see him back.
Yeah, me too.
At the same time, I hope that he is making good choices, and I'm sure he is because he always has.
Yeah, for sure. So, best wishes, no matter what. Tommaso Ciampa. Hopefully, we'll see you again. Hopefully, you change your mind. Maybe you change your mind at the end of this. You sign a little deal, and we keep it rolling. But if not, and you want to take some time off, you want to come back. Maybe you don't come back. Hey, man, we're here for it. Our fandom has been enriched because of you. So, Tom,
Sure.
I think that just kind of leaves us with one final piece of business, and that is the internet world famous One Fall WrestleCast match of the week.
And it's not just us saying it. Internet AI searchers are saying it. This is famous. World famous. AI is never wrong, except for when it is. My match of the week actually does come from Friday Night SmackDown, because this week only started this year, and the first wrestling show of this year happened on January 2nd. That would have been SmackDown. My match of the week was Chelsea Green versus Julia for the U.S. title, the women's U.S. title, where Julia regained the women's U.S. title off of Chelsea.
But they're wasting Julia on SmackDown. They should have never let Chelsea Green beat her in the first place.
Oh no, I think they should have
wasted Julia's talent.
What a fantastic sort of couple of weeks that was. Great match. God, Chelsea Green's good. God, Julia's good. It was good. It was one of those like kind of fuck yous to the IWC, and then they put it right back on Julia, and it's like, guys, and it's like you could tell they were like just laughing in the back. But at the same time, like, what a good match. What a great Chelsea Green is so good when she's getting the shit kicked out of her. Like that's what she's fantastic at. She's great at losing, but also it's great when she like wins and has a title, because she's so insufferable, but like on purpose. And Chelsea Green right now is sort of like on this run that is just like everybody kind of understands what's happening. And this is the point, right? She needs to have like a little like, I'm going to hold this title for a month. Oh, shit. Like, that's just, and the crowd pops for it. She sells a lot of t-shirts. She sells a lot of merch. Everybody's excited about it. The matches are good. I mean, I don't want to say she's a great wrestler, but she's a pretty good wrestler. She's very solid. She's a very fundamentally solid wrestler who has some of the best like facial expressions in wrestling. Like, especially when she takes a big move and it like clearly hurts, but she comes up like, oh my God. Like, it's just, that was great. Julia doing what Julia does best, just being dominant. And just a great kickoff to 2026. Good match. I'm a sucker for a title change. Here I am tonight being another sucker for a title. But you know what? Keep feeding me what I want to eat, and I shall eat it. Thank you.
My match of the week came from Monday Night Raw, the last show of 2025. And that would have been the Usos versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, where the Usos become the 9-time WWE Tag Team Champions. A little chaotic, a little crazy, but the Usos get the W. I really like this because this is clearly a situation that they're going to use to turn Jay heel.
Yeah. But also, the end of that match was just the last 2 minutes were just like, what's fucking happening right now? And it was like shit was going wild every which way. And I feel like that's what the Usos are the best at, where it's like shit's going crazy, but then all of a sudden there's Jimmy and Jay standing there together, just like super kicking motherfuckers left and right, and then like a 1D, and it was classic Usos, but also like Dragon Lee and AJ Styles clearly just vibing. They had a great run too. It was a month and a half of their title run where they basically defended every week. Good shit. I agree with you.
Absolutely. Well, we approach the Royal Rumble. It's quickly coming. Things are starting to take shape. Obviously, Monday Night Raw is on television right now. We will talk more in depth on that next week. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great time. If you're still here hanging out with us, man, we appreciate you. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Maybe even consider subscribing. We would greatly appreciate it. You can check us out over on social media, both Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. And as always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. Yeah, we'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. I guess 2026 is not the year